So good, so good, so good.
Ready to rack to school and save big? Get to your Nordstrom Rack store today for thousands of deals from just $20.
Because I want to look fresh.
How did I not know Rack has Adidas?
I got a new backpack.
Score everyone's favorite denim, sneakers, boots, and activewear from Nike, Levi's, Steve Madden, Madewell, and Free People. Great brands, great prices. Everyone's got a reason to rack. Shop Nordstrom Rack and make it the best school year ever.
This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally, yes.
It's an absolute riot, and the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday, in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by the world's first reposado from Tequila Herradura. Made with slow-cooked, hand-harvested agave sealed into oak barrels and aged 11 months. Before being enjoyed in your glass. Experience the world's first reposado. Tequila Herradura. Please drink responsibly. Responsibility.org. Tequila Herradura. 40% alcohol by volume. Imported by Brown-Forman, Louisville, Kentucky. Herradura is a registered trademark. Copyright 2025 Brown-Forman Corporation.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
And we're live, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome back to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. I was going to wear a Halloween costume tonight because I'm very excited for October, but I didn't have time. Maybe next week. But happy October. The weather, it feels like October now. It was cold today. It was cold this morning. You know,
what were you gonna wear?
I'll wait and surprise you. I'll wait and surprise
What?
you. I'll
gosh,
wait
you know
and
what's so
surprise
funny?
you.
I just went to the Halloween store for the first time with 2 of my children yesterday.
Oh,
And we
really?
had so much fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm a Halloween girl. It's my favorite holiday, and we have things that we do. We had so much fun. I mean, it's just like, I don't know how you can just have simple fun like that, and I love it. Like, because they have the Halloween store, you know, it's like a pop-up, and then they have the
Favorite
little thing.
Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was super, super funny. It was super fun.
So which kids were you there with?
I was there with my 11-year-old and my 14-year-old. And so
Boys or girls?
14-year-old, 2 boys. The 14-year-old Titan, he picked out a SpongeBob inflatable. He's Patrick.
Yeah.
And then my youngest is going to be a dinosaur. So he
Okay.
you know,
See,
he's
my girls are 14 and 12, and they're at the age now where a Halloween costume is an excuse to wear a short skirt and makeup. Okay. No, you're not. You're not a leopard. Okay. You're wearing, you know, a costume that's revealing, and you draw whiskers on your face. You're not a leopard.
I think it's funny how you're crossing your arms. Okay.
Yeah, because I have pictures of her when she was 5 and she was an actual leopard, right? Where she has a big costume on. Right. Very, very, very different. So
Can you just let them enjoy this? This is a rite of passage. Come on.
I took them all to, because we live really close to Universal Studios, Hollywood, right? And this time of year, from 7 to like 2 in the morning every night, they do Halloween horror nights. Normally the park closes at sundown. Here they keep it open, and it is a fucking madhouse. Okay. It's packed, thousands of people there, and they have hundreds of scare actors. Okay. That just pop out and scare the shit out of you with like chainsaws.
I could not do that. Yeah.
It was, I'm like, I'm going to be fine. It's not going to scare me. I'm a grown up. Scared shitless all night. You never know where they're coming from. Okay.
Okay, this is funny. My husband just took the kids to this on Friday. It's called Fright Fest, so it's something similar.
Yeah.
But like, so what time were you guys there?
We were there. It was my kids and 5 of their friends. I was the chaperone. We were there from like 6. So they got in a couple of rides before the park changed over, and then we were there until midnight, and then we went to In-N-Out Burger and came home. But all the rides turn into like a scary version of what it used to be, right? And there's huge lines. So I was dad of the year. I offered
Oh my God.
to
To stand in line.
stand in line for them while they were on a different ride. So they would
Oh
come
my
up and be right at the
God.
front of the line. And I did that all night. So they got to double the amount of rides they went on. So it
You know
was,
what? I'm crowning you.
thank you.
I'm crowning you the dad of the year. That's amazing. I'm surprised you guys didn't get in trouble from
Oh, we
people
had
in the line.
stories. We had stories. If someone was complaining, I would wait and let a bunch of people go by and then tell people, sorry, my daughters, they had to go to the bathroom. It was such a long line. They're like, oh, okay, no problem. I said, so that's what's happening. We're not like I had stories. It worked out. It worked out
Oh my,
great. It worked out great. If
I
there
think
were
that's I
if there was
love
like
that.
another dad in line, I was like, hey, listen, I'm doing a dad thing. I'm holding the spot for my kids. He goes, I get it, buddy. Good job. Go for it. You know, that guy. And for me, it was great because none of those shenanigans of scaring people would go on in the lines. All of that was out in the park. So I wasn't scared. I would like get a hot dog, I'd eat it in line, I'd like listen to something on my phone, whatever. So it was nice. It's like I could pretend to be alone because I don't talk to strangers when I'm in the lines unless I have to. So it was a great
Oh,
night for me. It was a great night for me.
that is so funny. I was just watching something with what's the spinoff from Seinfeld with his partner again? What's that?
Frasier.
What's that
Oh
called?
no, the spinoff from Seinfeld.
Well, it's Larry David.
Oh,
It's
Curb
his
Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they just did this like skit with like line cutters with this woman who
Oh
like
yeah.
guy who like she tangentially dated like maybe 10 years ago, and she's like, hey, how you doing? And of course Larry David is like, I see what you're doing. And this whole bit, and it was so funny. So I was imagining you getting busted, but
No,
no,
I
it
would
didn't
talk
happen.
my way out of it. I would talk my way out of it. It was great. It was a lot. It was really a lot of fun. But we got to talk about this episode because I almost told you this before, right before when we were pre-gaming. I was so confused, and I thought that I'd missed something because I couldn't understand who the fourth guy was, who the murder victim was, and how he worked. I knew the husband, the wife, and the nanny, right? But who was
Yeah,
the fourth guy? Like I didn't get it,
yeah,
and and you
yeah.
and
It's
you,
tough.
and you held that back really, really well. But I was like, man, am I like not paying attention? So I went back and I had to listen to it twice. But it was, but all right. But so anyway,
Oh no, I hope I didn't confuse people. But before we get started, I have to just tell everybody who was listening last week about you and your whole thing of like, yeah, this week I'm so glad that, I had a smile on my face and nobody died and Carolyn's the psycho and I'm just perfect. Guess who sent this story to me? Which I was already tracking, by the way.
I'm trying to be a good
Brando.
producer.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Trying
I'm
to be,
just
if I'm
saying.
not going to send you a story about puppies and squirrels and stuff, no, I could do that too. I send you the murder stuff. Okay, that's
I'm just saying you sent this one, buddy. You sent this one.
yeah, I did.
So
I
what
did.
do you what do you think? We need to get all of our allegedly out of the
Allegedly,
park.
the case isn't adjudicated yet. Allegedly, great.
Okay.
Okay. Um, sadly, I think at the end of the day, it's just it's going to end up being your run of the mill. I didn't want to tell the wife that I fell in love with somebody else, and so
This is not that.
let's see how complicated we could make it instead of me just saying I want a divorce. What does he think he's the first guy to bang the nanny? No, he's not. And he's not going to be the last. Like it happens. And so my thing is, okay, be a man about it. Say, sorry, heart wants what it wants. Sorry, I'm going to but you've got to like go to this whole elaborate thing and go into a BDSM room and get someone over for fucking blood play. I've never even heard of that. And I'm kinky, okay? I'd never even heard of that. Let's cut each other? I mean, but anyway. So,
I it's getting back to what you just said. Like you really think that that sounds like ego then. If that's like him creating this entire ruse of like make it as complicated as possible. Like, you think it really comes down to his own ego and not being able to just like what?
What are the two things that are real drivers of human behavior?
Lust and money.
Exactly. Okay. And I think this is both. So here's a 22-year-old, and people got to figure out what her fucking last name is. 6 people pronounced it 6 different ways. Okay. So here's a 22-year-old foreign nanny, right? What is she, Brazilian or something?
Yeah.
Okay. Living in the house. Great. They start having an affair.
Why did your demeanor just change?
Listen, they start having an affair. There's a child involved. There's a 4-year-old kid,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes.
So this guy's like, man, I really messed up. I really messed up and went and fell in love with this 22-year-old. And in his mind, he's thinking we could have a go of this. And she's like, sure, okay, older guy with money. I'm 22. Okay, this is great. He's telling me that he loves me. I'm sure, awesome. And he convinces her to go along with this ruse because if they don't make it super fucking complicated and a murder thing, then it's going to cost him a lot of money. It's going to cost him. Divorces are really expensive. Alimony. He's looking at child support for the next 14 years. Okay, it would be a lot easier if she were dead. So, because of lust and because of money, I think that's what happened.
I think it's funny because you always approach things from a pragmatic standpoint, where I always approach it from an emotional standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, I just, if it were that simple, why didn't he just get a divorce? I mean, this is so complicated.
Money.
This is so. I know,
Money.
but how many people get away with this? And then it's so it brings it to a whole nother level with the planning.
All right, here's the story.
Okay.
Here's a story, real quick. Okay. Friend of mine, grew up in Jersey, musician, extraordinarily talented, singer-songwriter, kind of like a Paul Simon kind of feel to him, right? He got a record deal in LA. Okay, like later on in his career, like in his like mid, maybe late 30s. Normally, like you're either established or you move on to something else by then. But he just kept grinding it out at the bars on the Jersey Shore and in New York City and all that, and gets a record deal. They fly him out here, they put him up, he's recording, and he meets a girl. Like as soon as he gets off the plane, okay? And she was not a good person. She wasn't. I'm just going to be honest. But he was completely sprung on this girl. And she was just like whispering in his ear, like, you need to get more money from the label. They've got money laying around. You look what you're giving them. You're giving them all this stuff and they're hardly paying you anything. Instead of, hey, you've got a great opportunity kind of late in life for an artist. You got to make the fucking most of every second and be the hassle-free guy and do extra. And she's telling him the exact opposite. And he completely screwed it up because of her. And the moment that the deal went away, because he was like, I need more money, I need a car, I need a better hotel, everything that she's telling him he should get because it would make her life better, okay? He screwed it all up. He was impossible to work with, lost the deal, and then she was gone the next day. She had moved on, right? So this is a long way of saying that there's a chance that this might have been the younger woman. He might have wanted a divorce, but what if
this is all him? I think
what if she comes in? But what if she comes in and says, "Well, how are you going to be able to take care of me if you have to pay for a divorce and if you have to pay child support and all this for a decade and a half?"
I mean, she came from very humble roots. You know, I don't
listen. I'm going to get killed in the comments, but you can't say that women aren't always motivated by money. Not all the time, but there are oftentimes women getting into a relationship with older men can be motivated by money. Yes or no?
Well, I think that it's a more complicated stew than that. I think, she could have daddy issues, which I could get killed in the I mean, there's just a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Not
but
just
break it down.
I mean, he was in, okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. I'm going to stop.
What's your overcomplicated emotional version of it?
Wait a second. I never said overcomplicated. You're adding.
I might have added that. Okay, sorry. What's your emotional version of it?
I think that he wanted to kill his wife because he had said, and you didn't hear this, but I'd read this somewhere, that he had said to a previous liaison that, man, I wish my wife was just not in the picture anymore. So I think that this had already been going on in his head, right? Okay, and I think it's hold on a second. Hold, you wanted my overcomplicated story here. I got to give it. Okay, they're living together, which is so like crazy. They're probably just having sex all over the place when the wife is there and just making it all about this like crazy, like
secret clandestine affair.
Secret, like it's just it's just hot and happening everywhere. And I don't want to give anything to these people because I just whatever. I'm just saying, like, I think it just mushroomed, and then this weird plan was hatched. And I mean, this is a lot to think about. Like, it's one thing to be like, yeah, I want to kill my wife. It's another thing to kill another person,
an innocent, a prop.
An innocent person. And she was innocent, but I mean, someone who's not even a part of this,
even in the universe of they had to go fishing for this guy.
It's Wednesday, Adams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix. On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
Right now, at the Home Depot, you'll find storage solutions made to fit your needs. Grab an HDX Tough Tote to protect your tools. Or keep your sports equipment contained with reinforced snap-fit lids. Or stack up and make better use of your space with bins and totes built to last. Whatever you're storing, we've got the gear to keep it organized and protected at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Right. And how devious, where it's like they didn't have to fish, a picture. We talked about
I know they had to I mean, man, oh man. They had to get the picture. They had to fabricate this whole online persona, right? In a really like sketchy kind of really focused fringe. I'm not kink shaming anybody, but fringe
they knew what to say. Which one of them knew what to say to get this guy to come over at 8 a.m. in the morning?
Right.
I mean,
for blood play, for rough sex and blood play.
Right. But that's what gets me too. The husband probably like playing his wife like a fiddle, saying, "Baby, send me a photo of you in that white, in that bathing suit.
Yeah.
I just really want to see that." Or even guilting her, like maybe their marriage hadn't, maybe she'd said, you never touch me anymore. And I'm like, because he's having sex with
right, yeah.
No, and so he manipulates her, and he's like, you know what? Well, you don't ever send me any photos. You don't ever, you know what I mean? Just like total manipulation. And she
Right.
doesn't.
Answer me this. If you're not married, no kids, but you're in a long-term relationship and you suddenly realize or slowly realize that you're not in love with the person anymore. It may be difficult, but you can get a clean break. Right? Like, okay, get your stuff out of my place. Here's your toothbrush. Maybe I'm going to change my Netflix password or whatever, right? Get my key back. You know, you can do it. It's so much more complicated when you're married and with kids, obviously. So he wanted his all right, he said, I wish my wife was out of the picture. Okay, why? Doesn't matter why. He wanted to date other people. Maybe he wanted to be in this BDSM lifestyle and she didn't. Maybe for whatever reason, he was just seeing this mountain of complications for getting her out of the picture. And so again, lust and money. Okay. He wanted to see other people. He wanted to be with this 22-year-old without any complications. And he didn't want to go through all the trouble of divorcing his wife, which means money and frustration and paying fucking lawyers and writing checks every month for alimony and for child support. So
Right. But we bring in Joseph Ryan, and that kind of changes that a little bit, because it goes from that he's basically, if he is found guilty of this, that means he's a serial killer. He's considered a serial killer because, as you know, two or more. So it's like it becomes more than just about killing his wife. You know, it's you're inviting another person, a complete person, into this that's totally
who you don't give a shit about, that you're about to murder. The plan is to murder a stranger. Yeah.
Yeah. The plan is to get someone in there so it can be believable that, and not only that, but shaming his own wife, like somehow she was to blame because she invited this stranger, you know, into their home where, you know, their daughter is. And, you know, this mother would never do that.
Blame the woman. Of course.
Exactly.
Blame the woman for wanting a brand or a style of sex that isn't normal. How dare she? Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's brutal.
Right. That's why he made sure to do the blood stuff, because even someone, as you said, who's a kink, and even that was a bridge too far. You know, I mean, I'd never heard of that either.
That is a weird kink, and listen, I've never tried it, so I don't know. Maybe it's awesome. Okay, but I'm just saying that it's like they picked something that was kind of so.
I think we're trying to be like the cool dad here. Like,
no,
I've never tried it. But...
They picked something that's so potentially inflammatory if it was made public.
Yeah,
like they would say, "Oh gosh, she's crazy. Of course, she's a murderer." Right?
Yeah, that's what they wanted. I mean, if you're going to do this, you're going to go all in, and you want it to be absolutely believable that there was just cause for you to kill this person who you saw, you know, stabbing your wife. And that was a part of, like, it went too far. You know, that was obviously what they were trying to say.
Yep.
You know?
Gosh. So who cracked first? Like the story started falling apart almost right away when the nanny said that she was sent out of the room to get a gun, and he didn't say that, right?
We don't know. That's the thing. We do not know. We do not know all of these. Like, we know some details, but like I tried to, I did a FOIA request, and they were like, you know what? They had it public because they had to do this prosecution, and then they were able to put the shield back on, which is something that they can do, you know, after, you know, to protect it. So I was actually really impressed with kind of how, when I was listening to these interviews with the law enforcement about how they really wanted to not be tried in the public, that they wanted to be tried in the court of law. And I think that that's really smart. I think that where it fell apart is that, first of all, he used his service weapon, which is a problem because, you know, he was already down, you know, like he'd already shot him once, and then he tells her to go get this Glock. And it's like, as a law enforcement person, if somebody's down, you can't keep shooting, you know, right? So then,
it's not the Wild West. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, okay. So then what's this weird story? So their stories didn't match up. He did not even talk to the police after they came. He like lawyered up immediately, and she was talking, which seems weird that they wouldn't have their, you know, their stories straight. Like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to do. And then them like playing house as if nothing was happening with the photo and them that in the
her
in the bedroom.
stuff's in the closet. It's like,
Stuff's in the closet,
move
her
right in.
lingerie all
Here's
over the
my new
bed.
girlfriend. Here's your new mommy. 4-year-old. Here's this. I mean, yeah, dude,
I
that was
mean, how confusing for the little girl. That's so sad.
kids are resilient. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You know, it's just so sad for that mom. Like, not only did this person, possibly have something to do with my death,
Allegedly, right.
but now she's going to raise my child. Do you know that would make me resurrect?
Absolutely.
If that happened, I would be resurrected and out for vengeance.
Agreed.
I mean,
agreed right away, man.
Yeah.
But so where is it in the trial now? Are people in jail awaiting trial?
So what's going to happen is, I mean, what I think that people think is that they arrested her first to try to get her to flip on him.
Right.
And I think that probably worked, because she was out of his, sphere of influence. Obviously she's in prison, or she's in jail, and, he's out, so she can see. I mean, there's nothing that would make someone want to flip more than if you think you're staring down 40 years of time and the person that you're with is out free, and knowing that he had cheated on his wife, do you think he's really going to be faithful to you?
No chance that it was her. All right.
Her what?
Did you see the movie Gone Girl?
Yes.
There's a great moment in that where it's like midway through the movie where she's holing up in that weird, like, cabiny, several different cabin motel kind of place, right? Where she's like putting weight on and drinking all the sodas and stuff, right? And there's that young couple that's the overseer of the motel. All right. And they rob her. Okay, they come into her room and they rob her. And they had been friends, right? And the main girl looks at the girl and says, "I can't believe you're doing that. So he talked you into this, huh?" And she goes, "I talked him into it." Right? I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting little twist." Like, the girl was the bad guy, because we always assume that it's the guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, there's no chance in your mind that this 22-year-old nanny didn't put all of this into his head, and she was the prime mover of this whole caper. You think it was him? And I'm not saying, look, I would probably agree.
Hold on. What I think is this. I think that he wanted out of the marriage because he'd obviously been having affairs with her.
Granted.
Okay. And I think that they were in it together. I think it was hand in hand. He sent her the picture allegedly. He got it from his wife. They're like a production team.
Yeah.
You get the photo.
I'm dying to know whose idea it was. Like, we got to set her up that she's this BDSM blood play girl who brought a guy over for rough sex, and they kill and that, like, whose fucking crazy idea was that?
If I had to make a guess, I would say that it was him, but I think that she was in on it too. Totally.
Guy missed his call. Should have been a crime writer, this guy.
You know what? I think that they maybe sat around and were like, after another session, and they're like, "Hey, how could we make this work?" How?
I'm sure it was,
baby,
because they're in that.
How can we make this work so we
can
new
phase of the relationship where, like, the sex is still great, and it's going to be great forever, and it's worth killing people for how great this sex is.
I know. That's why I was not being callous. But I'm saying they were having sex every which way in that house. And that was a part of it. I mean, that had to have been, and then they lure this poor guy. I mean, it's like this guy, he's completely lured.
Yeah.
To the house.
Yeah.
By them. Both of the victims have no idea what's happening.
And imagine this poor guy. I'm being serious. Imagine this poor guy. It's probably not every day that he gets a taker for what he's into, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he's like, fucking jackpot. Okay, I'll make time at 8 a.m, right, to go do this. And look what he fucking walks into. It's like an ambush.
Right, but I'm saying, like, imagine her, because they're both victims and they don't know what's going on. They're each in a different reality.
Yep.
He's in his reality. He's in this fantasy reality. He gets there. She's in her, like, what's happening?
Like,
And
who are you? Why are you here?
Who are you? Why are you here? And then, I mean, obviously, if the husband did stab her to death, which is, he's been charged with, she's seeing, oh my gosh, this is what my beloved is doing to me. It's just, this kind of stuff gets me every time, because I just can't imagine, getting to this place where this is what I would want to do to my loved one.
Yeah.
Gosh.
All right, well, you're going to keep tracking this, of course, right?
Yeah. To answer your question, her trial starts next month. Okay. And then we're going to find out so much.
Okay.
There's going to be, I don't know if it'll be videotaped or not, but I mean, this is going to be salacious.
Well, we will circle back to this definitely. And I doubt everyone else was as confused as I was, because, I'm sure it's.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's a me thing. I'm sure it's a me thing. And I knew I would eventually figure it out. And the payoff was great. I mean, the payoff was terrific. I'm tragic and all of that, but that wasn't on my bingo card. He was showing up for blood play, rough sex. Like that, I would not have ever thought of that as like, I bet that's who he is. No, man, that was so tragic. And I hope.
I mean, you couldn't even write this as a script, and people would laugh at you. People would laugh. You just be like, "This is such a cliche."
No way. I know, crazy. Well, hey, well done. Thank you, listeners. If you enjoyed the episode, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts, and consider sharing with your friends. It helps out a lot. And please consider supporting the great companies that support our show. We couldn't do this without them. Carolyn, what do you got next?
We'll just keep you guessing.
Okay, great. Until next time, Criminal Mischief Nation, stay safe out there.
Bye-bye.
From Cloud 10, Criminal Mischief is a pie-in-the-sky production, recorded in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We're produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host.